This is a test that nobody wants to pass because once you pass, it means you won't live for more than 7 days. The staff helps the man with the test while verifying his family situation. They mention that if he dies, his family will receive a compensation of $1 million. The man can't believe his ears and initially thinks the staff is joking. However, in the next moment, the staff solemnly informs him that he has passed the test. The man can't believe it and hurriedly asks about the criteria for the test. To his surprise, he finds out that the system indicates he won't live past 2030. The man panics as he considers himself too young to die in just 7 years. He requests the staff to double-check, but they insist that the system cannot be wrong and promptly move on to the next step. After 3 seconds, the man successfully receives a wristband. The staff reminds him that the wristband is synchronized with his biological signature and can only be removed after completing the task. If he attempts to destroy the wristband and escape the mission, he will be imprisoned, and his family will take his place to carry out the task. Once everything is explained, the staff gives him 24 hours to handle his personal matters before he must report back. The man is left speechless. He returns home and finds his wife, who breaks down in tears when she touches the wristband on his hand. She knows he is doomed. She urges him to find a way to escape, but the man insists he doesn't want to involve his family. Therefore, he feels he must participate in the mission. The reason behind all of this goes back to the Christmas from 11 months ago. On that day, all Americans were immersed in the joy of the holiday season. As usual, everyone celebrated Christmas cheerfully, getting ready to welcome the new year. They were watching a football game when suddenly the TV screen froze. Meanwhile, a strange scene unfolded on the football field. A beam of light suddenly erupted at the center. And within the light beam appeared a group of fully armed young people. Thinking it was a movie special effect, they were taken aback when a black leader stepped forward. He revealed that they were humans from 30 years in the future and engaged in a battle, not against humans, but against an unknown species of creatures. They didn't need prisoners, governments, technology, or money. They only needed food, and humans were their favorite delicacy. Now, human civilization was on the brink of collapse, and they needed help. They needed more soldiers. The leader emphasized that without assistance, they wouldn't last beyond 11 months, and humanity would vanish from the earth forever. In order to preserve human civilization, humans immediately mobilized and ventured into the future to fight the monsters. However, their hopes were soon dashed as the survival rate of the supporting forces was alarmingly low, reducing to only 20% within 7 days. Forced to recruit civilians to support the war, an agreement was reached among the world leaders. All individuals over 40 and predicted to die within 30 years were obligated to enlist for a 7-day service. They would be transported to the future through the previously seen wristbands, carrying out assigned tasks. If they survived after 7 days, the wristbands would automatically bring them back. John coincidentally met the eligibility requirements and, after receiving basic training, they set off to the destination. As the time machine initiated, a giant wormhole materialized above them. The staff informed them that they would be sent 2 meters above the ground, prompting a free fall. Before they could fully comprehend, a tremendous force sucked them in. However, to their astonishment, an unexpected mishap occurred. The staff had miscalculated the coordinates, causing them to descend not onto the beach as planned but into the city. 99% of them perished from the fall, with only a few surviving after landing in a swimming pool. John was among the fortunate survivors. Yet, it remains unknown how many will prevail, considering the city was now occupied by the monsters. John urgently contacted headquarters for rescue, only to be met with no support but a new mission. The commander directed him to lead a team and rescue scientists in a nearby building, with strict military orders. Thankfully, they encountered no monsters on the way, but their fortunes turned sour upon discovering that the scientists had already perished. Upon learning this, the commander commanded them to retrieve a blue-colored serum from the laboratory, which was the key to defeating the monsters. Unexpectedly, while preparing to leave with the serum, an accident occurred. After 2 years of relentless effort, humans finally captured a female monster. However, containing it in a cage proved to be a challenging task. The monster displayed a fierce demeanor. Not willing to let their 2 years of work go to waste, the commander had to step in personally. It was discovered that one of the monster's tentacles was exposed. Identifying the problem, Ella decisively fired and immobilized the monster. In the next moment, the beast lunged at her, sending her flying 30 meters away. Fortunately, her teammates reacted swiftly, saving her from further harm. Ella kicked the monster back, coordinating with her teammates, and successfully managed to lock the monster inside the cage. However, what they didn't expect was that it wouldn't be easy to escape unscathed. Upon hearing the roar of the female monster, male monsters from a 10-mile radius flocked to the scene. They directly attacked the helicopter. Reacting swiftly, the second pilot used the helicopter's rotor to fend off the monsters. It was evident that they had stirred up a hornet's nest, as thousands of monsters were now charging towards them. It was clear that they stood no chance against them. The father and daughter quickly boarded a tank, with the father driving and the daughter manning the machine gun. They managed to escape successfully. The female monster served as humanity's last hope, as there were less than 500,000 survivors survivors remaining. If humans couldn't find a way to utilize the female monster and discover a method to kill the monsters, humanity would vanish from the earth forever. Time was of the essence, and humans immediately began conducting anesthesia research on the female monster. Ella extracted blood from the monster and placed it into a machine operated by artificial intelligence. Targeted lethal toxins were successfully developed. However, just then, the monster suddenly woke up, accompanied by the roars of other creatures. Humanity's last refuge was exposed. In the next moment, an army of monsters launched a full-scale attack, breaching the human base and initiating a final assault. Both sides engaged in a deadly battle. Humans fought to preserve human civilization, while the monsters fought to protect their species. Neither side would show mercy to the other. However, the battle was one-sided. Due to the overwhelming number of monsters, despite humans unleashing all their firepower, they eventually lost the battle. With only 8 minutes left until the time travel operation, humanity couldn't hold out much longer. Ella had to sacrifice part of their defense to gain a chance. She ordered everyone to protect the time machine at all costs. If they could successfully transport the lethal toxin back 30 years into the past, humanity could mass-produce it and prevent this catastrophe from happening. However, the monsters were aware of what humans knew as well. A group of monsters stormed into the research facility and promptly severed the chains, releasing the female monster. With its heightened sense of smell, the female monster quickly tracked down Ella's hiding spot. Soon, the mother monster commanded elite monsters to surround them. The father and daughter realized they had nowhere to escape and had no choice but to fight the monsters to the end. Back to back, they fought the monsters desperately. Unexpectedly, they managed to escape alive. Yet, their moment of relief was short-lived as Ella was struck by a monster. Witnessing this, John fought back with all his might and protected Ella, ensuring her escape. However, the monsters pursued them relentlessly. In the next moment, Ella and the monster plummeted from a high platform. The father jumped down and managed to grab her, but Ella made the difficult decision to let go, understanding that if they both died there, the mission would go uncompleted. Surprisingly, John couldn't bear to let go and jumped as well. Fortunately, the time machine activated just in time, preventing him from making a fatal mistake. They time traveled back to 30 years earlier, and upon awakening, John immediately instructed the military to produce the lethal toxin and used it to eradicate the monsters in the past. However, to their dismay, they were told that the time travel device from the future had been destroyed, rendering them unable to return. In despair, John returned home and relayed the events of the past few days to his wife, expressing his regret for not being able to save their daughter. Unexpectedly, his wife calmly told him that they still had a chance. She suggested that perhaps the reason the monsters weren't detected promptly was that they had already been on Earth. Therefore, they could use the information from the first appearance of the monsters to find them and eliminate them in their infancy. Upon hearing this, John immediately shared the plan with the authorities. However, they outright rejected it, stating that the initial monster appearance was in Russia, and Russia would never allow the United States military to launch an attack. The crucial point was that John didn't have concrete evidence to prove the existence of monsters there, so his suggestion was not taken seriously. Nevertheless, John turned to his father for help. His father happened to have an old transport plane, and warriors from the future who had fought alongside John before also believed him and joined the expedition. They soon made a significant discovery. There was a massive ice cap on top of the ice layer. They detonated it and found that there was an empty space beneath the ice cap. This confirmed that something was indeed inside. There was no time to waste. They hurriedly entered the hollow to investigate and were astounded to find an ancient extraterrestrial spacecraft encased in ice. A group of young people discovered an alien spaceship encased in ice in an ice cave. Without hesitation, they cut open the hatch to explore the inside. 2 of them remained outside as guards, while the rest ventured inside to investigate. To their surprise, they found alien bodies, indicating that the aliens had likely crashed on Earth. As they delved deeper, they discovered a row of enormous yellow embryos. Upon closer inspection, they realized that the embryos were monsters. It seemed that the aliens were transporting the monsters when they encountered an accident and crashed on. To prevent the monsters from causing chaos, they immediately administered the poison, successfully killing them. However, their excitement was short-lived as the other monsters woke up. They quickly injected the poison, but it was too late. The monsters had already emerged. To make matters worse, 3 of them managed to escape. The guards immediately went on high alert and entered a defensive stance.
Shit. Charlie! Charlie, I need you!
The future warriors, aware of the situation, called for John to provide support. They stayed behind to cover their retreat. However, the situation took a turn for the worse as they discovered the spacecraft was filled with embryos, most of which had already awakened. The implications were dire if these monsters were to escape. With no other options, James detoned the bomb to destroy the spacecraft and eliminate the monsters. Meanwhile, John found his father, only to learn that one of the monsters had escaped and was female. This is not good. If this creature finds a hiding spot and lays eggs, we're in trouble. There's no time to waste. The father and son immediately spring into action, entering pursuit mode. Soon, the father spots the monster, and of course, the monster notices him too. The beast quickly closes in. Thankfully, John's father is cunning and has set up a snowman as a decoy to deceive the monster. They activate their counterattack mode. John's father hides in the shadows and begins sniping the monster. However, to their surprise, the damage inflicted is not enough. The monster is getting closer, and in a critical moment, John arrives just in time to save the day. The father and son join forces, launching an attack from both sides and pushing the monster back. However, the beast is not foolish and cunningly uses the fog as cover. This is not good. The father and son quickly defend themselves back to back, but it's no use. In the next moment, the monster unexpectedly jumps out and swiftly subdues them. John is unfortunate to be struck by a bone spike. He hastily removes the spike and thrusts it into the monster's mouth, astonishingly blinding one of its eyes. Seeing this, the father successfully blinds the other eye with an ice axe. With both of the monster's eyes blinded, John seizes the opportunity and swiftly injects the monster with a poison. In the next moment, the monster rapidly dissolves before their eyes. However, to their surprise, the monster decisively bites into John's injured thigh. With no other choice, John attempts to push the monster off the cliff, though it is incredibly dangerous. The father doesn't want him to take the risk and cuts his palm to attract the monster's attention. Indeed, the monster detects the scent of blood and lunges at the father. However, at that moment, John unexpectedly jumps onto the monster, severing its throat. Then, with a flurry of punches, he incapacitates the monster. Taking advantage of this opportunity, John quickly retrieves a bottle of poison and forcibly feeds it to the monster, before kicking it off the cliff. The monster is successfully slain.